Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, or whatever time of day you're listening to this. Welcome back to Dad Tales Podcast. I am Leon, father to Ava who is 7 and Noah who is 5.
And my name's Andy and I'm a dad to 3 girls, Ellie who's 21, Lex who's 15 and Andy who's 8. So together we're going to take a light-hearted look at parenting from a dad's point of view. We hope you enjoy. Leon, happy Dad Tales Day.
Happy Dad Tales Day, my friend.
How are you today?
I'm good. My favourite day of the week is Dad Tales Day. Yeah.
That's because via this technology that we have, you get to see my beautiful face.
It is a beautiful face. It's all blurry. It's made a massive improvement on it.
Thanks for that. Good to see you too. Good to see you looking very well. Good to see you look well groomed. How's your week been?
Yeah. Our week's been all right. It's been all right. It's been steady. Nothing much has changed really, apart from I'm still working from home, still homeschooling the children, going out for my daily exercise. So not really big. Not to report anyway.
Nothing
What
major.
about you? How's your week been?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Nothing major to report.
I was gonna say we should start pre-recording that, and so we can just press play on it every week when we go, "What have you been doing?" Well, I've been doing homeschooling. I've been working from home because nothing changes because it's bloody COVID.
Yeah, I had an exciting trip to Morrison's.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Go on and film me. What happened at Morrison's? Tell me.
Well, I went in, fully sanitised, got my basket, did a little bit of shopping, checked out, and left. I know, contain yourself, because I know that was quite exciting, and I know you've not seen that sort of side of me before. But yeah, that's as exciting as my week got.
Wow, amazing.
Leo, let's get straight into this. Let's do this. Topic 1, let's go.
Topic number 1. So this week's topic was all about asking our children how they would describe themselves to someone they have never met. So the way I dealt with it was, let's imagine there's an alien, come down, you got to describe yourself so they know a bit about you. That's the way I went with it. How did you go with it? Did you say describe yourself?
I just literally said, just describe yourself like nobody's ever met, like you've never met somebody's never met you before.
I did that and I got, why haven't they met me? I was like, oh, God. So an alien's come down.
Did they say, stranger danger?
Yeah. In a nutshell, yes. I've raised the right to stay away from don't talk strangers.
Did you have a preconception of this question before you asked it? Did you think you kind of knew what they was going to say?
I knew that Noah would be shy about it, and I knew Ava would be confident about it. And from when I go through Ava's answers, I even put in brackets, confident, aren't we? Which I was writing down. Because she's very confident in her own ability, whereas Noah's always like, it feeds off what Ava says. So whenever I do anything like this, I have to ask Noah first. So I actually get something from him, whereas if I asked Ava first, he'd go, yeah, I like wearing makeup. I like brushing my hair and plaiting it.
It does look good in them plaits, though.
To be fair, his hair's getting long enough. I couldn't plait it at the moment. It needs a good cut.
Get them shears out.
So do you want to start with one of yours then? Do you want to kick things off with one of yours?
Yeah, so I'll start with Andy, and I think this is pretty much I knew what she was going to say. So she said, nice, a gamer, because she likes a game and stuff. And she said, kind. And then she just followed that up with, and that's all.
Nice. I like it. Those are mine. Those are exactly how you should be.
Just 3 things. How do you describe yourself? Nice, gamer, and kind. I think they're good. They're good things to have. So
I asked Noah, and straight off the bat, describe yourself. He went, I'm silly. I'm a bit silly. I was like, silly how? I'm just silly. So silly. I said, right, okay, tell me something else about you then. I'm good at football. That's your opinion. Let's have it. That's fine. You're not too bad. Look, I'm not building these hopes up too soon. So I said, well, what else? You describe yourself a bit more. And he said, I'm really good at writing and reading. I was like, blowing the old trumpet out here, lad. And then so I said, so what do you like doing then if you like reading and writing? You think you're quite good at it. He says, well, my favourite lesson's maths and art. And he said, I have short blonde hair and my eyes a green, and that's as far as he got. I was trying to get him to describe himself, and he went, "I've got a big belly with a belly button." And I was like, "Everyone's got a belly button, my friend."
He's so good at maths and English though, because he's had some quality homeschooling, I've heard.
Yeah, I said to Amy, I'm dreading going back to school because I've got to have caused damage. This time I've done more schoolwork than last time because obviously Amy's work circumstances changed slightly. But I'm telling you, our kids are going to go back and they go, "You've been doing this on your own? Have you not had any parent help? What's been going on?" I'm just going to be something crazy like that happen.
Too much parent help.
The worst thing is when we're doing something and Noah will go, "Oh, how do you spell that?" I'm like, "How do you think you spell it?" Because I ain't got a clue myself. So between the two of us, we work it out.
That's the one way of getting around it.
Yeah. I mean, to get that short sentence out of Noah was like pulling teeth because he's quite a shy boy. He's not very confident in himself. He always like uses Ava as like a projection tool type thing. She's always there, always been around him. So I'd actually like to see what he's like at school if he comes out of his shell a bit. Because at home, or whenever we see him like at football with Ava, he's as shy as all.
Oh, that's not a bad little answer from him then, is it?
No. It just took me 4 hours to get that little sentence out.
Right, so Lexi, I asked her, she said, absolutely hilarious. I did question that, but she said she's absolutely hilarious. She says, quite weird, but in a good way. And she's also said kind.
Nice.
There's probably a lot of bias here, but I think them two both are really kind. I think they do nice things, and we always try and talk about when we've done nice things for other people because I think that's important. Yeah, again, it's difficult to get much from them, and like us all, we're not. These two aren't massively confident, so for them to sort of blow their own trumpet is difficult for them, I think.
I know exactly what I mean because I was always the same. I never really blew my own trumpet in the fact that I would ever credit myself. It was always someone else completely get where they come from. And I know what Noah's like. Noah's like me when I was younger. I never liked to sell myself as in like, "Oh, I can do this. I'm amazing at this." I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll have a go at that. I could be really good at it, but I won't let on that I'm really good at it." As I've got older, I'm a terrible winner and a sore loser, massively. But that's actually confidence as I've grown older. So I do completely get where they come from when they're shy because I'm that kid. I was that kid. What was you like as a kid? Was you quite a shy person or was you quite confident?
No, I was pretty shy. I would never have said, "Oh, I'm the best at this, I'm best at that." I'm still in that vein, like we both are, that we don't really know what we're good at yet. We're still waiting for that, aren't we? That penny to drop on something that we find that we're good at.
Yeah. No matter like on my deathbed, I'll go, "Oh, I'm amazing at this." Oh,
Just recite the periodic table or something. Just go, "I've just learned it now."
Yeah.
Too late, my friend. Too late.
I tell you, it would be really good if I could edit in there me doing the periodic table. What are you talking about? I already know it.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Right then, let's move on to Ava. So Ava, like I said about 2 seconds ago, she is confident. So she starts off with, "I'm sensible, I'm creative, I'm smart, I'm good at dancing, and I'm pretty." And I put in brackets there, confident in one's ability. She's chucking out that she's pretty. That's up there with me going, "I'm really handsome, I'm really gorgeous." It just threw me back with you. I'm really pretty.
I think that's a good thing to have, though, because I think we've talked about this before, is that like when we was younger, certainly I know from me, I didn't get a lot of praise from my parents. And I just think that was the time we lived in. You know, my parents never said, "I love you." And I never got like hugs and stuff unless I'd fallen and hurt myself. Whereas now it's completely the opposite, isn't it? You know, I'm constantly telling my kids, you know, how good they are at stuff and how pretty they are and, you know, things like that. I normally follow it up with a, "Just kidding." But I'm still saying it nonetheless.
Yeah, no, you're probably right, actually. It's probably,
yeah. We parent, I think, very, very different to what our parents did. I think there's certain things that we take from our parents and the good things that they've done, but I think we do it very, very differently. So I think that's a good thing. I think it's good that she knows that she's pretty, because she's pretty. I don't know where
Yeah.
she obviously gets the looks from her mum.
Yeah, definitely. But it's a confidence thing. It threw me back. I've got nothing wrong with her being confident in her ability, saying, "Yeah, I'm pretty." That it's true. It's factual. But it's like one of those things I'm thinking, where's that confidence come from? Because I never had that confidence.
Yeah, but your confidence has grown with you, hasn't it? So you're more confident now than you was as a kid. So now, as you're an adult, your confidence has grown on to Ava and Noah. We'll maybe get there.
Could be raising like I don't know, some sort of world leader then if she's that confident. She also said she's good at art and dancing, which she said, and she told me that her eyes are grey-green. She's got long, wild hair just past the shoulders, and it's brown and blonde. So she described her features as well to go along with it, not just her nature.
Was there sort of a jealousy issue there when she says, I've got grey eyes and hair, and you're like, my eyes are red, and I've got no hair?
Yeah. My kids love to tell me I'm bald. Every opportunity. Dad's bald.
I think as well, from a girl's point of view, that a confidence thing is good, I think, to go into. I know she's not anywhere near teenage years yet, but if they can get into teenage years being fairly confident in their own ability and able to manage that as well. So managing, so you're not, there's a fine line, I suppose, isn't there, between confidence and cockiness.
Yeah. I mean, I'd sooner them both be Ava's side of confidence, because what comes with that is Ava can brush things off. So if there's any negativity or anything that doesn't go quite right, yes, it upsets her, but she's quick to bounce back from it because she's quite confident. Whereas because Noah's a bit shy and timid, if something's not his way, it's quite an emotional thing for him. And I think that comes with being quite a shy person. So if I given the option, if I could choose one way for him to be, I'd definitely go with the confident side of things. And what about Ellie then?
Finish with, so Ellie says, I'm a person who puts others before me. She also says she's kind, not big-headed, but funny. And she also put, I like shopping.
Nice.
So what I've always said to people about my three is that I think they're all very, very different in their own little personalities. You know, Ellie's obviously grown into a young lady that's developed, you know, her own little personality. Andy, the youngest, she's got her own little personality now, and that's obviously going to change. Lexis has changed over the years, and she's grown into somebody that's very, very different than she was a few years ago. And I think the same with your two is that they're both, in certain circumstances, very similar. But actually, when you talk about and ask them questions like this about their own personalities, they are very, very different.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, isn't it? I think it's nice to have a bit of a mix.
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps as well that one's boy, one's girl, obviously. So the trends and similarities will change at some point of like what they're like. Because like Noah at one point was, I'm not against it either, do you know what I mean? But would happily sit and watch Cinderella or happily sit and watch, like, you know, things because Ava wanted to watch it, or would do things that Ava wants to do, play with dolls, those sort of things. Whereas, like I say, I'm not against it. Whereas he's now starting to get his own personality in the fact that, well, actually, no, I want to play with Spider-Man toys. I actually want to watch Spider-Man on telly or Marvel. So he's actually becoming his own person. Whereas, like I say, when you ask the questions, I've always got to ask Noah first because he just follows what Ava says because he thinks it's the right thing to do. And he's same with watching telly or whatever they want to watch. If Ava wants to watch it, he thinks, I should want to watch it. Whereas, like I say, it's getting a bit now to a point where he's like, no, I'm actually my own person a little bit. But outside of the house, he's his own person. He's Ava's shadow.
I think, though, that certainly younger siblings, I was the same with mine. I always looked up to my brother and sister, and I always kind of wanted to be what they was doing, you know, be interested in what they was interested in. And it's the same with my kids now. There's a line there of the want to be like the older one. You know, do them things, wear their clothes, you know, go places that they've gone, do the things that they want to do. If you ever go somewhere and one of them's not quite tall enough, but the other one is, which you might have at some point, or an age thing, so you can take Ava on a certain ride at a theme park, something Noah can't go on. Man, that's a conversation to have.
Well, sometimes we go to the theme park and those two can't get on a ride, and I'm like, I'm off on it anyway. See you later, guys.
Don't talk to strangers while I'm gone.
Just stand in this post, don't move. I'm off on this big ride.
So, all that aside, so we wanted to know what they was about. we've now asked them about us. So we've asked them a series of questions and asked for their answers on what they think, different things about us. So I've got my questions here. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
So we asked them all children, both the same question. So I asked Lexi and Andy, the two youngest. So what is something I say a lot? They said, cool story, bro, which is, because they'll generally tell me something that's a bit pants, so I end up saying that. What makes me happy? Dad juice. So dad juice is obviously the terminology for beer. How tall am I? They just said tall. I'm not that tall. My favourite thing to eat? Bread. Yeah, it probably is. Can't go wrong with a bit of bread. Not just on its own. I'm not like Oliver asking for more. Just like bread. What do I do when you're not with me? And they said, go to work. Which, yeah, is pretty much what I do. What makes you proud of me? They didn't really understand that, so I didn't really get much from that one. What's my favourite movie? The Greatest Showman. Again, no arguments there. Classic film. If I could go anywhere, where would I go? And they said, to bed. With all these questions, again, we've said this before, but it's how often, it's when you get them at the right time for them to answer questions. Sometimes you get really good responses. Sometimes they're a bit daft. How do I annoy you? Saying, cool story, bro. Which is probably true. What's my favourite TV show? Only Fools and Horses. Nailed that one. So this one, you get a phone call to say that I'm in trouble. Who am I with? Straight away, they both said, Leon. Definitely. Which is probably true. One of us is in trouble, other one generally is. What do I hate? They said people, which sometimes is true, generally when I'm in car. What's my favourite alcoholic drink? Dad juice. So we just call anything that's alcoholic dad juice. What gets my temper going the most? People. Yeah, probably. What's my shoe size? 7. I'm actually an 8, but they're close. And then finally asked them to describe me in 3 words. They said big, sleepy. Then Lexi suggested funny, but Andy said no. So when I pressed Andy on a 3rd one, she just said, all right, then you're funny. So I'll take that. I think that'll probably be printed on my tombstone to think that they think I'm funny. But again, when we talk about like how they've seen me and how sort of I've seen them, they're all within the answers have put, being nice and kind. And also like Lexi and Ellie have put being funny. So I suppose they see laughter as quite a big part of their own personality and being around people that like to laugh. And so I think that's a good thing. That strikes me as positivity, as a good attitude, I think.
I like them. We've got some very similar things going on from when I've asked mine, so not too many. So I go through mine. So what is something I say a lot? What you talking about, Willis? And I always say that. So if they'll say something, I'm like, what you talking about, Willis? Because half the time I don't know what's going on, so I just chuck it out. The other one is what makes me happy, family. So I'm always, like you said, you're always telling that you love them and things like that. So I'm very similar, and obviously to pick that up. How tall am I? It's quite surprising. They said I was about 6 foot. So I'm just short of 6 foot. So I'm quite surprised they actually knew that as an answer, I was like, oh. I expected them to be very similar to you and go, taller than mummy. I don't know. But for him to know that I'm 6 foot, so at some point, like you say, it depends on when you catch him. At some point, my height must have appeared, or we've talked about it, because for them to know that, whereas maybe a couple of weeks earlier, don't have had a clue.
Do you think they've maybe just heard that men are 6 foot? Seen it on telly somewhere?
maybe something around that, yeah. But like I say, it took me back that they actually knew that. What's my favourite thing to eat? Pizza. Nail on the head there. I think I'm a secret Italian. Love pizza. What do I do when I'm not with you? They said sleep. So I don't know if that's a thing of they think we go to bed and then I'm with them all day long, or they think I just go to bed when they're not around. Go to school, dad's in bed. So I'm not really sure on that one. What makes you proud of me? They won't really sure what I meant by that. So Didn't really get an answer. Took a lot of explaining, so I'll go with not sure because I didn't really understand the concept. What is my favourite movie? They went with Kung Fu Panda. So like I say, it's one of those things where we've been watching Kung Fu Panda, and I went, oh, I love this film. That's been ingrained there for eternity now. Dad's favourite film is Kung Fu Panda. It is a good film, like, don't get me wrong, I love it.
Ain't no great show.
Debatable, mate. Debatable. I can feel a pull coming.
There we go. You see, I thought we was going to have an episode without you singing.
Oh, yeah. If I could go anywhere, where would I go? On holiday. So the kids, I think that's them as well. They want to go on holiday. We've been on holiday for over a year and that. So I think everyone's missing a bit of time in the sun or time away from our houses. How do I know you farting all the time? So once again, it's one of those things. Last few weeks I've been very windy, so it's ingrained in them. What's my favourite TV show? They didn't really know, but whenever I get control of the telly, which is very rarely I get control of the telly, I put football on. So they think my favourite TV show is football. So I'm trying to educate them on I follow a team sooner than just football in general, but I think it's the case I don't get telly very often. I'll get mass say. If you get a phone call to say I'm in trouble, who am I with? Dum-dum. They said I'd be with you. So surprise, surprise. Our kids think we're up to no good all the time. What do I hate? Tomatoes. It's true. Don't like them. Hate's a strong word, but you won't catch me eating them anytime soon. What's my favourite alcoholic drink? Beer. What gets my temper going most? And that one is that they never listen. So they pick up that I'm always, you never listen to me, or I have to say about 1 million times. What's my shoe size? They said big. They didn't really know my shoe size, which I'm quite surprised in how tall I am, but I don't know how big my feet are. So obviously that's never come in conversation. Describe me in 3 words: bald, fun, and grumpy sometimes. I'll take that. I'm emotional sometimes. I get a bit grumpy and a bit, Now, the other thing that my kids will always say, which I find hilarious, so and it's not something I'm not bothered about, like, I've got hypertension, but no matter where we go, I can bump into an absolute stranger, and I'll be talking to that person, and Noah will go, Dad's got high blood pressure, Dad's got blood pressure, and just tells people all the time, Dad's got blood pressure, Dad's got blood pressure. Like, all right, you don't tell everybody. I'm in shop and, like, asking some questions, like, Dad's got blood pressure, do you know? No, they don't know. They don't want to know.
It's like he's your little Medi Alert bracelet, isn't
he? Yeah.
Just keeping the general public informed, just in case you keel over at middle of the street.
I pick up some with high salt content, and he goes, Dad got blood pressure, put that back. Okay.
He's got you back. Good lad.
He has got me back. So, yeah, something very similar to you in the aspects of, what do our kids think we get up to, by the way? That if we're going to be in trouble, it's going to be one with the other.
I don't know. I sometimes ask my kids what I do for a job, and they just kind of go, you kind of do some sort of teaching, gym and things. Don't really know. You drive around a lot. You're always in car.
Yeah, but in that, like, schoolwork, when I go, what are you guys doing at school? I'm like, well, don't really know what they do at school.
Yeah, but at least I know they're at school.
Yeah, but they know we're at work, but they don't know what we do, and I don't know what they do at school.
But you know,
because I've got a question what my kids do at school, because what I'm trying to teach them is not what I was taught, so something's not quite right somewhere.
Old school teaching methods. You still got that abacus?
I'm pre-abacus, me. I'm digits and toes, me. That's how I roll. I've got my house and my flip-flops all educational days.
Right, so our new segment that we put in is about reviewing something. Let's have a double review this week, and I'm going to let you take the lead. You go first.
Yeah, so my review this week is Monopoly, The Sore Losers. So it's a take on Monopoly, and I've got to say, what a game it is. When we first got it and was reading rules, I was like, oh, this is so complicated. This is going to be right, especially with 2 kids. I was like, oh, this isn't going to be for me. Got into it, I'm not joking, in the first 5-10 minutes, I was like, this is class. What a good concept. They've taken the concept of Monopoly and made it more fun, more easy, to manoeuvre. It can be loads quicker as well. Like some games, Monopoly take 4 or 5 hours. Have you read those marathon, stupid long games?
Absolutely.
Whereas this, we've played it 3 or 4 times, and no games last more than an hour and 10 tops. They've been that quick. And the best thing about it was the first time I played it, everyone were crying. And it's meant for sore losers because the game. So 1 minute you can be losing. So in Monopoly, when you play normal Monopoly, if you're losing, that's it. It's so hard to get the game back. If someone's took a screaming lead and got some decent properties and they're banging houses on it, you ain't got a chance of coming back from that. It's just so hard. Whereas with this one, you play with like Mr. Monopoly, and if you land on a segment, you get to be Mr. Monopoly. And as you go around from thereafter, you can then take people's property off them if you land on their space. You can buy things cheaply, you can move around. So from going from being last to next thing, you've got 3 other people's property in your corner. Every time someone rolls a double, if you're Mr. Monopoly, you get to put a house on your places. So like you're going from like a game that can take three hours before you even start putting houses down. You got houses down in the first 5-10 minutes. It's like absolute carnage and chaos. And it's so good and so quick. Like I say, Ava man her eyes out because it looked like our perception she was behind. And she like if we play non-Monopoly, that's it. She ain't bringing that back. Whereas 3 minutes later, she's then leader. She's got all property. She's got all money flying around board. Really good game. So Monopoly for sore losers, I would highly recommend it. Especially for kids. It sounds complicated. It starts off where, because it's not too conventional to the original rules, there's a bit of getting used to. But once you're in the swing of it, I've played it 3 times and I don't think I'll go back to non-Monopoly, especially with kids.
Yeah. Is the video of Ava crying the one you sent me?
Yeah.
You never sent me the one of her laughing and being jovial afterwards. Because she was winning.
That's because I flipped table over. Because I was then the sore loser.
It was you that was crying at that point, was it?
Yeah. The title of it's so apt for the game, Monopoly for sore losers, because like I say, you can be a sore loser for like 2 minutes and then next thing you're winning. It's class. And I think every time we've played, I've won. I think kids have won. We've done non Monopoly because there is a bit of stretch too, and a non-Monopoly game that goes over their head, whereas just a free for all, off you go.
I think that's the thing in it with original Monopoly. It's a game for adults, really, isn't it? Because you've got to have the patience to think, I'm going to sit here for a good couple of hours, if not longer. And really, does the game ever end? You know, you can go bankrupt, I get that, but it's very rare that happens in it, and you just go on. And if you drop somebody out of the game 2 hours in, and then other 3 or 4 people continue for another 3 or 4 hours, it's no fun for that person that's dropped out, is it?
No, we play Monopoly every Christmas. It's like a tradition. And there's always somebody that gets kicked out early or whatever because they've gone bankrupt, like you say. But the games last that long that it's not fun for that person that's then dropped out. Whereas this one, you like end together. There is an end. Once all properties have been divvied out, it's a race back to go. And on your way to go, if you end up being Mr. Monopoly, you can start stealing properties on your way to go. But once you hit go, that's it. Game's over. You cash up, cash out, and you're done. So, like you say, with the original Monopoly, there never seems to be an end point, whereas this, they've actually designed the game ends when this occurs.
I love the variants of Monopoly. You know, obviously it started as the original game. There's now different, Star Wars and football ones and things. But I like these ones. So you've done Monopoly for sore losers. Takes about an hour. So I'm going to review Monopoly Speed. So again, this one is a slightly smaller board. So you don't have, so they're taking out your community chest and chance on each side. So they're not in, so it's slightly smaller. They're still part of the game, but you can move around quickly. The idea of this game will literally take 10 minutes and you're done. It takes longer to set it up than it does to... 10 minutes is probably the most it'll take to play. So how it works is that you have a clock and you have 4 rounds. So you have a buy-in round and then a trading round. So it goes buy-in, trading, etc., etc. Restricted by this clock. So everybody has their own dice. So the timer starts, you throw your dice, you move your spaces. I think the first time is something like 60 seconds. So you literally doing everything you can within 60 seconds. So everybody's going at the same time. It's carnage, but it's fun. Then as soon as that round ends...
Yeah, how do you know someone's not cheating when you're rolling? So if I say I need a 4, I could. If you're too busy rolling yourself, how do you know I'm not going to roll a 4?
You don't. There is a lot of trust involved, and you like to think that everybody's in the same boat, so you just don't. It is open for that. So you go from your buying round to your trading round. So in this trading round, again, you've got a certain amount of time. You've got cards that can prompt you into, say, steal a property from somebody else. Steal one from somebody else, or move it, or make somebody put their property back. There's a few different variants on that. And then your buying round starts again. So you're all back throwing dice again, doing that. And then when you get to the end, it's the person who's got the most money and the most value on their cards. So each property is all worth the same as well. So it doesn't matter whether you buy Old Kent Road or Whitechapel or Pall Mall or what's the posh purple one? Mayfair.
Purple? Blue, you mean Mayfair?
It's kind of purple, isn't it?
Blue. It's dark blue, you loon.
Which is purple, effectively.
I feel another poll coming.
Instagram poll. So, yeah, so it doesn't matter which property you land on, they're all worth the same. And then if you get like all the sets of each colour, all the properties of each colour, then like you double what your value is and things like that. So you add it all up at the end. I think it's brilliant. We can play 3 or 4 games off the bounce because it only takes 10 minutes. And like you said, there's not a massive amount of strategy involved. It's just a case of buy as fast as you can, and you need to trade really just to try and get whatever it says on your cards. So if you get a card that says if you get 2 train stations, you double what the value is. So then it's trying to trade them off with other people and things. It's great. Nice. I love the fact that it is just over so quickly. And the thing is as well, like you say, if you play a game and somebody does lose, they tend to sit on that for next 2 or 3 hours a day. Whereas this, I've lost. Right, let's play another game and let's see if we can get back. As long as they don't lose 3 or 4 games on trot, then you're all right. The only sort of negatives to it are you need quite a big area to play. Because what you have is you have your board set up, and then at every position on the board, you need the cards there. So if you land on it, you throw your money into the middle to pay for it, and then you take that card. You know, rather than shuffling through a card and go, oh, there's the one I need, because that just wastes your time. So you kind of need all them cards set up. So you've got your board, all your cards around the edge. You're then trying to manage your money in one corner. You're rolling the dice, which is going everywhere. Imagine there's 3 or 4 of you playing. And then obviously, like Andy's only small, so she has to kind of walk around the table to move her piece rather than reach over. It does get a bit carnage at times, but it is so much fun. And like I say, it takes 10 minutes to play a game, and then you can divvy it up and start again. Again, like you, highly recommend it.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds right up my street. I want more games going forward. So if anyone can recommend me games that have got the original concept but a new twist to it. So have you played like different types of Cluedo and stuff?
No, I don't think I have. I think we've just played the original. We've played original Cluedo.
Yeah, I've got Harry Potter Cluedo, and it's good. It's got like a bit of a twist on it, but we'll say that for another day. But that's what I want. I want people to recommend a variation on something, because most classic games we'll have played, going through. But I want something with a bit more different concept on it.
So I'll give you one. Again, we'll probably save the review for another day. But Air Pictionary. Actually, it's called Pictionary Air.
Oh, is it where you got a pen, you draw it in the air?
Yeah.
That's not Pictionary. Is that Pictionary?
Yeah, I don't want to fall out.
In Pictionary, 2 words, first word.
I don't want to fall out with you over this. It's definitely Pictionary Air.
No. What's that called then? Where you go, first word sounds like...
That's charades.
What's that called? Okay, yeah. That's where I went wrong straight off the bat. Didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, so I'm saying if anybody could recommend any games that's got a slight twist to them, then that's going to be really good. Yeah, we'll review them as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, I want more games to play and stuff. My biggest thing is trying to recycle the games out though. We've got shelves just full of games and bits and bobs, so it's a case of recycling them out. I think I might have to bring a few to you, to not offload them, but you have a play with them, see what you think to them.
Yeah, I think exchanging stuff's all right, isn't it? You give it a good clean, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, we can wait till this COVID's over. Should be about a few more days and we'll be out of this, won't we?
Yeah, I
Something
think
like that.
I think it's about to finish at end of the week. Somebody said. I think that's.
Yeah. Pushing, maybe push to half term, they said, I think, but by then, don't exist anymore, apparently, they said.
Yeah, back to normal Monday. Right, Leon, what have you learned this week?
I've had a good learning week this week, so buckle in, sit down, and get yourself ready for this. I have learned via my child's English lesson, Noah's, what a conjunction is.
Conjunction. Is that at the end of the street where all the criminals hang out?
It is, exactly. That's exactly what it said, definition-wise. Bravo.
Thank you.
So, a conjunction is a word that links two sentences together. So, I went to the shops, however, I forgot my mask. So, the conjunction there is their word, however.
Nice.
So, I know how to write that in English. I know how to form a conjunction, but I never knew that term was called a conjunction. That you'd use but, however, therefore, words that had linked two sentences together. I never knew it had a term of that's a conjunction. Wow, blew my mind.
I think my variation was better.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that, but it's not right.
It could be both, really, couldn't it?
Could be. Hey, you asked me what I've learned this week. I've learned something. I'm taking it with me.
Very good. It's nice that you've learned something, and he's learned something that's constructive.
The thing I've got to say about it though is at some point in my childhood, I will have been taught that concept to the point where I've not remembered it. I may have not listened when they told me that. That could be a good thing. But to then me get to my 30s, to then relearn it, and I don't know when I'm ever going to need to know that is a conjunction. Hence my reason, why do they need to know it?
Oh, let's not say that, because they might need to teach it to somebody else.
Which is fine. Then when they go to teacher school, then that comes up in one of the lessons. If they go to be journalism or go down journalism, then that can come up in that lecture there as well when they get to wherever they go to journalism school. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of things we get told and learn we don't really need or use that are practical.
Did you just say when they go to teacher school?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
That's
now?
it. That's what the teacher goes to teacher school.
Yeah. So if you was to become a chef, you'd go to like cooking school.
Chef school. Yeah, you go chef school.
Chef school. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yeah, you want to be a mechanic, you go to mechanic school and they teach you it.
What if you want to be a doctor?
Go to doctor school. I'm backing down.
All right, I'll have to have a look at those. I've learned perseverance this week, and I don't just mean what the word means. So Ellie had a situation that's gone on for best part of 6 or 7 months. So she had an issue with her bank. I won't go into massive details, but basically she got some kind of hacked in a bank, got some money taken out, struggled to get it back, but persevered with it, kept contacting the bank, kept going forward. She knew she was in the right, and absolutely credit to her for continuing to do it and just getting a nice positive result in the end. So that was good. I like that. I think if you know you're in the right with something, like you explained with your Airfix toys, it wasn't quite fit for purpose, it was broke. So you persevered with it, you got the result you wanted. And I would encourage anybody, if you know that you're in the right, fight on. Within reason, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's the key, isn't it? Knowing you're in the right and persevere for what is right. I think that's the key, and be down that route, because just got to show it does pay off sometimes.
yeah, I mean, I'm not encouraging anybody to start climbing up the side of Buckingham Palace or anything like that, but, you know.
Hang on, we were told we're not to do that again.
Right, Leon, thank you again for a fantastic episode. What we should do, and we're terrible at this, but we need to be telling people to please like, please subscribe, please share our podcast with people, because we want to get out to the masses. If you want to get involved, obviously, we'll drop the links in the episode bio. Please get in touch without sounding too emotional. This program's nothing without you guys. There, that's surely got to be some sort of award for that.
Or got us removed from podcasting altogether and we shut down.
Possibly. Right, thank you very much, Leon. Let's do this all again next week, eh?
Cheers, matey. See you next week.
See you next week. You keep yourself smiling.
You too, matey. Stay safe.
Thank you for listening right to the end of this week's podcast, and we hope that you've enjoyed it. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at dad_tales_, or get involved by emailing us at dadtales@outlook.com. You can also now join our Facebook page by searching Dad Tales. Keep the feedback coming. We are genuinely humbled by all the input and the comments you are providing us. Stay safe, celebrate small victories, and keep smiling.